Welcome to Global Village TV show today. We are airing from JBS Center. We would like to take the opportunity and thank City of Brooks for providing the venue. We have a great two guests, Michelle Gietz from Adult Learning Center in Brooks, and David Andrews. He's a farmer. He's been from the community a long time, and he will be able to tell us who David Andrews is. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, Michelle, you want to tell us a little bit about Michelle Gietz?
Oh, well, I grew up in Scandia, actually, just south of Brooks, and was here until high school, at which point I left Brooks, but I always had a deep desire to come back to Brooks. I think it's a great community to live in. And 30 years later, I came back in 2009 and am now employed at the Brooks Community Adult Learning Council.
Wow. And you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
David, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, like Michelle, I was born in Brooks, grew up on a farm at Bow City, my parents' family farm, which is now coming into the hands of the fifth generation of us who were involved in that operation. My grandparents came and homesteaded in 1910.
Wow.
So we have a long history there, but in the meantime, I went to high school in Medicine Hat and university at the University of Alberta in Edmonton, and married the love of my life. And after 53 years, she still is. So we've come back to the farm. It came back to help my dad out 55 years ago. Thought we'd give it a few years and try to get things going, and that was a long time ago. So we stayed there. It's been very good to us, raised our family here in this community, and I certainly can't say that we have any regrets.
So where is the farm is located?
Well, it's southwest of the city of Brooks, here at Bow City, not far from on the north side of the Bow River, upstream from where Michelle and her family lived at Scandia. As I said, my grandparents homesteaded in 1910 in the dryland part of the world, south of the Bow River. And like many who struggled through that whole experience from the early days and the drought of the 30s and the Depression years, when they had an opportunity to buy an irrigation farm in the Eastern Irrigation District in 1936, they did that. And I think that's probably the main reason that we're still there. The irrigation offered resilience and an opportunity, a business model that was hugely successful. Nobody was very wealthy, but we survived.
So would you say if there was no irrigation at the time, this area would not have been possible for the development that we have today? Oh,
absolutely. The Eastern Irrigation District was developed by the Canadian Pacific Railroad in the early 1900s. They took title to huge blocks of land between Calgary and Suffield as a reward for building the National Railroad line. And their business was to build and develop the irrigation system, which they did. But in the 1930s, when farmers weren't able to pay for the land that they'd sold them or meet their requirements, they were persuaded to turn the whole thing over to farmers in the district. It's run as it's actually an independent company, but it's run more like a cooperative where the water users elect a board of directors. It's been hugely successful, but the thing that's really made the difference in terms of the business of mixed farming in this area is the fact that farmers could own a small irrigated piece of land where they could grow crops and feed for livestock. Livestock that could spend all summer on grazing lands that were also owned originally by the CPR and ultimately by the Eastern Irrigation District. So we've got over 600,000 acres of mostly native grassland that's been preserved in this area, which is a huge environmental impact in and of itself, but also provides for this business model where the local farmers had the opportunity to graze on those lands in the summer, bring the cattle home, and grow the feed for those cattle over the winter. And that's been hugely sustainable in this area. As I said before, nobody got terribly wealthy doing it, but we were able to survive. Families were surviving here. Families who couldn't survive in the dryland areas in the 20s and 30s, homesteaders who were able to move into the irrigation, whether they moved into Bow City or Scandia. Scandia was settled in 1917 as the CPR gradually opened up the irrigation district. Different parts of the district opened up at different times. But as people could move, a lot of the people who came to the irrigated settlements came from dried out parts of Western Canada.
Wow, that's a learning process. Yeah, that's huge.
It's a miracle. It really is.
Yeah. And without irrigation, there would have not been a lakeside.
There wouldn't be. We have one of the most dense populations of mother cows in North America in the Eastern Irrigation District. Without that base, which is based on the model of mixed farming that I just talked about, there wouldn't have been a lakeside feeders, which morphed into a lakeside packing plant many years ago, and now is still a huge employer and drawing immigration. As you know, this whole country's built on immigration, but now we're still seeing that play out. And it's based on that agricultural business model that is supported by irrigation.
Yeah, I think it's owned by JBS now. I think very much different than previous owners. Yeah, but I think that's that's huge. The Eastern Irrigation, what they have done it. So. Kudos to them. Yeah, Michelle, you want to tell us a little bit about the programs that you run through the Adult Learning Center?
Well, the wave of immigration comes through our door at the Brooks Community Adult Learning Council. Yeah. We have over 500 students daily. Wow. With over 35 classes of English every day for people with zero English skills to CLB4 or a little bit higher of English skills. And so we have a variety of programs. We have 12 classes that are online. The other classes are in person. We have classes morning to accommodate people who work at night. We have classes at night to accommodate people who work the morning shift at JBS Canada. Wow. And so we have a fluid influx of people, and it's because they are coming to Brooks. Yeah. And as mentioned earlier, they need English skills in order to obtain employment. Yeah. They need English skills to integrate into the community and to communicate with their neighbors and their friends and the bank and the doctor and everybody else. Yeah. So it's a very important part of the Brooks community to be in the Brooks Community Adult Learning Council, and it is a real hub for newcomers. Their families members bring them when they first arrive here, or friends bring them. It's like, oh, we got to go learn some English, better sign up, you know. So we see everybody, and we have so many different languages and people from different parts of the world, different types of visas, different work experiences. Like it's a very interesting place to work.
So what will be the requirement? For example, do you have a list that is waiting list for people to wait, or they can come and start next day?
It depends on the program. Okay. So we are funded federally, primarily. We're funded by the province, and we're funded by private companies who may send a class of their own employees to take English at BCALC. So it just depends on the program, but some of them, yes, you can start the next day if you're ready. If you're a permanent resident, you have to go through a assessment process, so we know what level of English class to put you in, because we try to match, just like in a grade school, the best class for you, so that you will be successful.
Okay. So you also have a literacy program. You have the CBL.
Yeah, we just surveyed our clients about a month ago. And 38% of our students are literacy, which means they have under grade 8 education from their home countries. Yeah. And so not only are they learning English, they are also learning a lot about just learning in general. That's the study skills they need, the way things are done, what type of book to read, how are, reading in some languages is left to right, and others it's right to left, and, all those kind of challenges, because if they haven't attended school, then that it contributes to their ability to learn English at a different pace, right?
Wow. And you are now certified also? Yeah,
and the last biggest project we've got is we're now an official CELPIP test center. Many people who come as immigrants need to write the CELPIP test, which is a worldwide language assessment test. And temporary foreign workers need it to become permanent residents. Yeah. So they have to write that test. They have to receive a certain score on it, depending on their place of employment, their level of education, what type of career, their path they're in, their skill level of their job. And that then allows them to be able to say, I've reached this level of English.
Wow. But someone, in order to be a citizen, they have to have level 4.
A minimum of Canadian language benchmark 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's different then.
No, it's the same. The CELPIP has a similar scale.
Okay.
And they do have to have 4s in listening and speaking. Again, some literacy people who may struggle with reading and writing is not required for citizenship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they have to have some sort of level 4. Yeah. Okay. Okay, David, you want to tell us a little bit about the Southeastern Foundation?
Sure. I spent many years working on behalf of the cattle industry as a volunteer and as a paid consultant. I still do a few contracts. But then I realized that I had a desire to get more involved with our local community. And the Community Foundation of Southeast Alberta was an organization that wasn't very well known outside of the city of Medicine Hat. But the board was astute enough to realize that they needed to do something to remedy that. So they instituted a program whereby they set up rural community funds. So we now have the Rural Community Fund for Brooks and District as part of the Community Foundation of Southeast Alberta, and I chair which is actually the inaugural committee for that effort, and it's been an uphill battle, but it's the argument in favor of the Community Foundation of Southeast Alberta endowment policy and programs is very compelling. So we're finding that as people understand what it's about, and really what it means is an endowment is an investment in your community that never spends the principal, only spends the revenue generated from that principal amount. And our principal amount in the endowment fund for the Community Foundation in Southeast Alberta today is about $25 million. And we grant in the range of about 5% of that out every year. So it's a significant amount of money that goes to support charities and other organizations in all of our communities. It's a very robust and credible process. So it's working out extremely well. I'm very happy that I got involved with it. I sit on the board of directors now of the foundation, as do you, Amit, and they welcome our input from from this part of the world and from outside of Medicine Hat, at least, which is something, you know. So we're making a lot of progress. We're having our for this area, we're having our fall grant presentation to the organizations that are being granted money on the 22nd. Tomorrow afternoon at City Hall, 4:30. So that's a celebration of what we do, really, more than anything, and it's what makes it fun. So we keep working at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you very much. I think you were wonderful. I think you hired me to join that foundation in Medicine Hat, Southeastern, and it's a very noble foundation, and do believe they have done positive contribution, not only Medicine Hat, but to the southeastern of Alberta, especially small towns as well.
Well, I want to thank you for getting involved, Ahmed, because you bring the perspective of the newcomers, and this part of the community of southeastern Alberta is unique, of course, in the numbers of newcomers that we have here, and it's an experience that's enriched this community, in my view, and is a highly successful example of how to bring newcomers into our society and welcome them.
Thank you very much. Michelle, you want to tell us a bit about the hours of operations, for example, and if the wife is working at JBS or the husband vice versa, would they be able, both of them, to attend the Adult Learning Center in different times?
Oh yeah, because we have classes different times of the day. So we do have the morning classes, and in the morning classes we do get people who work the B shift at JBS, and also some people who work C shift, which is like over the night, right? And then in the evening classes we tend to get the people who are working during the day.
Wow.
And most evening classes run from about 5:30 to 8. We know people need to go to bed because they have to get up and go to work the next day, so we don't want to keep them too long. But it's a very rigorous schedule for people who come because they work and then they come. So it's a lot of commitment and it's a lot of time, and it shows you the commitment to the individuals who want to learn English, that to be successful they come, and it's a lot of effort for them. Yeah,
to be success equals to sacrifice.
Yeah.
You have to do the what needs to be done, if that is a commitment that you need to do in order to survive and successful. I think that's a important factor of for their commitment, and most of them, they are very committed.
Yeah, and we do have a couple of specialty classes too. We have a women's class in the afternoon, which is only open to women who want to study alone. And then we have a youth class, which is for ages 16 to 24, and that's after school. So we do get some high school kids who may struggle with English at high school, and then they can learn extra English at the Brooks Community Adult Center. And we're only a couple blocks away, so they can walk from the high school over and take the after school class.
No, I think that's fantastic. I think that helps also the youth. Adult Learning Center, they come and then they continue their education at the high school.
Yeah.
I think that's a win-win situation. Yeah. David, you want to tell us a bit about the top 7 over 70s? I think that you are very passionate and.
Well, I am a little bit involved in that. I chair this new committee of the Community Foundation of Southeast Alberta. Our initiative is based on an experience that's been going on since 2017 in the city of Calgary. Their top 7 over 70 accepts nominations from the community for people who've done something over the age of 70 that's outstanding in some way. And it could be a business, it could be the arts, it could be performing, it could be philanthropy. There's no sort of definition of what kind of thing this has to be. It just has to be interesting. And so we'll nominate and identify 7 people from southeastern Alberta every second year, and we will celebrate those people for being active over the age of 70 and continuing to enhance the community experience for their own communities, if you like, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a big time gala event to bring them together and have a meal, and because most of us are older, it'll be from 6 till 9, and then we'll all go home. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a lot of work to get it started and going for the first time around here in Southeastern Alberta. The group from Calgary are very interested in supporting this initiative in outside communities. They've been trying to get another community from anywhere across the country involved in this without success. So here we are now in Southeastern Alberta. We're the experiment to see if this thing has legs. And so they're very interested in helping us to succeed. And I've met some very interesting people from there. Some of them are friends of mine from a long time ago, but some of the people that run this thing in Calgary are interesting in their own right. And have a history in Southeastern Alberta. Jim Gray, who's the founder of Top 7 Over 70 in Calgary, was along with his partner, the founder of Canadian Hunter Exploration, spent a lot of time mapping the gas fields in Southeastern Alberta. In fact, mapped the gas fields in the Suffield block and talked the Premier of Alberta at the time, Peter Lougheed, into deciding that those fields needed to be developed, and that was the start, at the beginning, the genesis, if you like, of Alberta Energy Company. Wow. So he's got some skin in the game when it comes to Southeastern Alberta. He's 90. He's 90. If you're 70 years old and you want to know who you should aspire to be, it's Jim Gray, because he's wonderful.
So two quick questions. One is, what that process will look like if somebody wants to nominate someone from our area?
We will be, in the spring, we will be, through whatever media we have access to, social media and otherwise, we will be announcing that nominations are open and anyone who lives in Southeastern Alberta can nominate somebody. The nominations process will go through a third party that we haven't identified yet to be evaluated, and we will select 7 out of all the nominations we get. Now, the nominations won't necessarily be discarded if they aren't successful. They will continue to be on the list for future times, as that may happen. But so it's going to be a very open, transparent process where people can identify people that they think. And if you think about it for a minute, Michelle, you probably know several people who would. That's what happens when you start talking to people about this. They get excited. And they say, "Well, I know somebody."
So would you consider something like, for example, the city or the county might be a position for them or role to play, for example, in terms of...
They could nominate, you mean?
No, the gala reception back in October of next year. Would they be able to sponsor the program, or are you guys?
Sure. Yeah, no, we're looking for sponsors. We need to raise a significant amount of money to get this all done. Mm-hmm. And we're asking for sponsors. We've got... gold, silver, bronze sponsors starting at $5,000 for gold and $2,500 and $1,000, and then at any level, okay. So we need sponsorship. Yep. It's not a fundraiser in the sense that we are competing with other charities. We don't want to be doing that. In fact, the foundation is in the business of granting to charities, so why would we do that? But this is a project that's based on its potential to inspire not just seniors, but people of all ages to be active in the community, to do something, to keep going, and it's that inspiration that I think makes this a valuable project for the Community Foundation to get involved with.
So the sponsor that you're referring is just for the gala reception and other expenses?
Yeah, it's
to,
for the whole process,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I mean, we need to get people involved. We have to fund the nomination process. There has to be some media costs and so on like that, and so we'll see how it goes. And yeah.
No, that's. I have a few people in mind that might probably be the right people to be nominated. 7 over 70 and have done a lot of good things, positive contribution to the community.
Yeah, I
that we
think
will
so.
definitely. Yeah, but that's a very noble thing that you're passionate on the program, and hopefully it will be very successful. Yeah, I think that will be fantastic. And thank you very much to both of you, Michelle. I think the Adult Learning Center is extremely important for the community, especially for the newcomers and anyone else that can probably be able to, not only for the English learning, so local people can go there and they get to know the cultures within. So David, you can go there and then you will know the Asian culture and African culture and other cultures from within. They have a huge different people there. So I think it's great addition to the basic important for a newcomer, whether they're a professional or coming here to immigrate. English learning is important, and I think since you took that position, you guys did a fantastic job, and I hope you will continue for many years to come.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I think you guys and you do have a fantastic employees there who help the newcomers with different language, I would imagine.
Yeah, many of our employees actually are immigrants, and so they have teaching degrees from their home countries, possibly, and they've opted to teach at BCALC rather than in the school system. And yeah, we have a very diverse staff from all over the world and all different backgrounds.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
with different languages.
And different languages: Spanish, French, Arabic. I can't even think. More Spanish. No, it's like, no, just a wide variety, all different languages. Yeah.
No, I think that's added value too. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Yeah. Now, hopefully, we'll stop by sometime, as I believe you connected with Professor Roger for the documentary. So that's one of the things that we're going to highlight. The importance of the Adult Learning Center in the community, any given community, but referring to this community.
Yeah. And you know, the BCALC, the Brooks Community Adult Learning Council, has been around. It will be 50 years in 2025.
50 years.
Yeah.
Really?
So we've been around a long time, and there's a lot of alumni in Brooks.
So who they used to teach English then? Prior to the Mennonite and all those?
Yeah, it's changed over time. It used to be more community interest courses, and the mandate is to meet the needs of the community. And so as the population has changed, we've just converted from other things into English language training. And we do other classes too. We do basic math classes, we do computer and digital training. We have CELPIP test preparation and citizenship test preparation. So we do a lot of other classes too, but our main focus still remains as English language training.
Fantastic. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you very much for both of you joining us today to Global Village show. Hopefully we'll see you next time. I will always keep the tough questions next time. We'll just leave that one because Michelle been here sometime, I believe, many years ago. So we'll hopefully next time we'll have tough questions. And if you are interested to run for a mayorship in Brooks, that's the next one. That will be the next one.
When I'm 70.
Election
now you're fishing for a nomination.
There you go. Yeah, and she will be most qualified if she would have been that age. Yeah, she's been done a lot of good positive contribution to the community so far. Yeah, so hopefully I will be the first to nominate you if you choose to run for the mayor when you are 70.
Yeah. She has to live that long first.
I have to live that long. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
because
a challenge.
Election is not that far next year, I think, or the year after 2025. So, So something to consider anyway. There might be a vacancy. So thank you very much, Michelle,
you.
for coming. Thanks, David, as always. Thank you. Yeah, this is the end of the program today. Thank you very much for joining us, and hope you will join us next time. Until then, this is Ahmed Kassim, your host of the program, and joining us from the city of Brooks, the city of 100 Hallows. Come and visit the city and New York County region. You will enjoy. Thank you. God bless you.